So in this video, I'll show you how to configure RIP on RouterOS 7, RouterOS 7.1. Well, it's fairly new. It's only like a couple days old for the RouterOS 7 official release. So a lot of my followers required me to record the video on how to configure it because it's different. It's different from the RouterOS 6, obviously. So I think it will be helpful. And usually I record videos in Chinese, but I think since there's no other information out there, no documentation, no wiki, so even the MikroTik itself haven't updated their documentation on how to configure the RIP. So I'll do it. So hopefully it will be helpful. First disclaimer. I cannot say this is the absolutely correct or the best way to configure RIP on your RouterOS 7. So, but it works. Maybe you can use it, or maybe it's just an inspiration. So, viewers' discretion is advised. All right, the topology is very simple. So I just have two RouterOS running on the 7.1. This cloud is basically just a bridge to my local network. So I can easily use the Winbox to access those two RouterOS. So here I have the Winbox open. The top one is the RouterOS on the left, and the lower one is on the right. So the IP address is very simple. I have the TIN network. So it's basically to simulate the inside network for that computer, the VPC. And on the right will be the 20 network. So the interconnect network is the 12. So the left one is 12.1 and on the right is 12.2. So it's a very simple network, and technically the RIP should be easy to configure as well. So here in the instance, we just need to create an instance and create a template and include the interface we want the RIP to run. So obviously we don't need all of the interface to involve in RIP, but usually if you configure RIP on like Cisco routers, actually if we want to include this network, usually we'll also make that interface to advertise the routes. But it's just a lab, so technically we just need to put either one here, because right here that's either one. But just for the sake of the lab, I'll just do all to just simplify it. Okay, and the routing RIP and instance, and here we include all of the interface. But the problem with this is there's no place for us to actually add the networks. So, you know, if you're on a Cisco iOS device, you do router RIP, network something, right? Network something. And then that network will automatically add to the router table, the RIP router table to send out. But obviously here, if we see the neighbors, there's just nothing. But here, the interface, they are all activated per the template. So what's the trick? So it actually took me quite a while, especially when the logging doesn't work. So here, actually, I have the RIP debug enabled. And when I see the log, there's just nothing. I'm not sure, but it's possibly that's a bug. They will fix it in the future. But right now, I really don't know how to configure it, make it work until I see, okay, redistribute. Maybe I should redistribute. Actually, I just tried all the options. So here we just need to redistribute the connected. For this router, the connected will be these two addresses. So the either 1 and either 2. So on this side, it will be the same to redistribute the connected. And now when we try the IP routes, here we have this 10 network. And is from the gateway of 12.1, which is the router on the left. And obviously it's from the RIP because the distance is 120. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So again, if you're from a Cisco background, it probably, it's like, well, redistribute doesn't work that way. Well, yeah, yes and no, it works. And I do see a lot of people actually do that instead of just use network command. So if you want to limit like what network to be advertised, obviously we can use filters. In case you don't have experience in the filters function, I can show you. So let's just enable this network. It's just a bridge I created. So on the RouterOS, bridge almost act like a loopback interface, especially when you're testing it. So here, after I enable this network, here on the other side, obviously it learned another entry of the route from the RIP, which is the 14 network. But despite we enabled it, we don't want it to be advertised. So here we can create the routing and filters. So this filter is already been created when I record the Chinese version of this video. So it's just the change is a name, it's filter 1, and if that's, so for this part, they actually, the MikroTik has the documentation. So if you want to expand it or change it to make it more complicated, just follow their documentation. You'll be fine. So here, basically, what we mean is just so the routes that match the 14 network. So that DST obviously is destination equals to the 14 network. Then we reject it. And here I put an else. So everything else except. I tried. If I don't have the else there, it doesn't work at all. Yeah, well, I don't really have a lot of experience with the filters. So if anybody else tell me why, or maybe this is just how it should be, then that's how it works. So here I just create a filter and I apply the filter to the alt filter of this instance. And before I click OK, here again, we make sure the 14 is still here. And as soon as I click OK, it should be gone in just seconds. There you go. It's gone. So that will be a way to limit what networks to be advertised and what to be blocked. So again, like I said, I'm not sure if that's the 100% correct way, but at least it's a way that works. Maybe people have been doing this for a long time already, but from what I've learned, like my CCNA like years ago, is you're supposed to do the network and then something, right? Instead of just redistribute, connect. That's different. That's definitely different from the version 6. So that's why people ask, and that's why I made the original Chinese video. So I hope this English version might be helpful to some people. Some people just Google everywhere and YouTube and just search for a solution of the RIP on the RouterOS 7. And here you go. Now you have a solution or inspiration. So yeah, hopefully that's helpful. Thanks.